welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM and FM, KHTS, with Don Gatling, Gino Fronti, and our wonderful guest. We brought, yes, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the owners of KHTS for almost 30 years now, right? How many years?
28 plus.
28 years, Mr. Carl Goldman. Thank you for joining our show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Usually just behind the scenes, we just send stuff to you and then we talk to you about our show and stuff.
But it's great to be part of this, part of the energy, the dynamic of the famous Don and Gino.
Well, you were a part of that because you gave us a lot of tips. Actually, we got to go into that because this is funny stuff because now our show's almost at 7 years now, and we tease you, by the way. We always say, I don't think they know we're still on the air because we have our own studio here at Skyline Home Loans. So we tease, but we remember that you and Jerry were giving us guidance because we know loans really well, we know financing really well, we've done speaking events, but radio is different. And you were trying to explain that to us as we were learning our craft, per se, and we were overcomplicating it. We weren't, I won't say dumb it down, but we were talking above his head. We were getting to a point, and
well,
you're
there
like...
was too much industry jargon.
Yeah.
Is really what it came down to, is that we weren't speaking in layman's terms.
And then it takes a while to get in a groove. And, of course, had I known, I would have brought your first show here and we could have played music.
Oh, no. Because you told us that. That's exactly what I was getting at. It's so funny. So
Our first show, did we even speak? Ron Quintero talked the whole time.
That's true. That is true. But, I mean, for the first 6 months, and it was so funny, Carl, that you went up, and you had a lot of shows come and go. Right. So I guarantee at some point you're like, I don't know if they're going to make it because a lot of them don't make it. And after 6 months, you go, all right, guys, I actually think you guys are figuring this out. Mm-hmm. And I really liked your show, and it was fun to listen to you guys. And you go, so just for kicks, I'm going to give you one of your first few shows, but don't play it while you're driving. You'll drive off the road.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll go back because, some of our guests that we've had over the years, over and over again, they've done a great job of prognosticating with our crystal ball here what's going to happen with the economy. I mean, Chris Ingram's just done a fantastic job over the last 7 years saying what's going to happen with the stock market and how to handle your finances. He really has. So we go back, and sometimes I'm listening to old shows looking for little nuggets to give to Chris so he could share, and I'm like, yeah, that was bad.
Oh, one of the original ones?
Yeah, one of the first ones. I'm like, yeah. And Don had 72 pages of scripting, and that's the way it used to work.
Back, talk about nostalgia, you just remind me, back in the early 90s, we created a series called Santa Clarita in the year 2000, and we interviewed all these community leaders about what Santa Clarita would be like 10 years forward. And now, of course, we're looking 18 years back, and we ended up, I found the tapes, and we put it on YouTube. And there's one with COC Chancellor Diane Van Hook that you can go on YouTube and just Google Santa Clarita the year 2000 Diane Van Hook. You should watch it because that woman, our chancellor, she hit everything on the head. She figured out everything. She figured out the internet before Al Gore did.
And she is a dynamic lady.
Yeah,
no doubt.
She is. But that's a cool interview, a cool little snapshot of Santa Clarita.
They're making a lot of changes. We just got an email from James, I forget his last name. He's heavily involved in it and trying to promote COC and what changes they're making and the growth of it and trying to get more industry leaders and other people in the community to learn more about it. And they offered us a tour, and we're going to bring them on the radio show.
Nice.
Yeah, well, what's nice about it is, right, COC is now becoming it is becoming a university. It's not so much just the college now anymore. It's becoming a legitimate place for our children to get a great education and start their careers. It's not...
It used to be an extension
it's not going to be
of high
looked
school
down on as
a
junior college.
Right.
It's actually turning into a serious place to get an education and start a great career.
Yeah, she's done a great job with it. All right, so we wanted to talk about a few other things because as owners of AM, FM, KHTS, you guys are heavily involved in our community. You're heavily involved in supporting our community and events. And in fact, there's 2 trips we want to talk about so you can kind of enlighten us what these are about because you want us to go, and we promise we will. You're going to Sacramento, and we'll start with that because you have a Sacramento trip and a D.C. trip. What does that entail, the Sacramento trip?
Sure. We're less than 1 week. Actually, we're just a few days away from that trip. We take... we created this 13 years ago with our then Assemblyman Keith Richmond, and the idea was to take Santa Clarita community leaders, go up to Sacramento, and just get a little feel for what it's like up there. And as this evolved, it became very, very successful on the first trip. And as it evolved, we realized it was an incredible advocacy trip because no other group does it. In your field, you've got mortgage brokers go up and advocate on behalf of mortgage brokers. Realtors go up on behalf of realtors. The school board or the education, you could have a union go up. And so these legislators are just used to one group going up and advocating. In our room, we have 110 people up there, everyone from our mayor to the head of the chamber to realtors. The head of a Realtors Association this year will be with us, to nonprofits, hospital. Marley Lawfer will be going from the hospital. It's really, we talked about College of the Canyons. They have 3 board members going up. Diane Van Hook will also be going up.
Oh, wow.
So we then select the 7, 8, 9 issues that impact Santa Clarita that Sacramento has a say in, that have the most impact on Santa Clarita. And then we get in front of those legislators or policymakers and communicate back from all different perspectives, because we have Democrats going, we have Republicans going, it's really nonpartisan, talking about what impacts Santa Clarita. They are all blown away by it. We do it in cooperation with our elected officials up there. This year, Assemblyman Dante Acosta and his team have really spearheaded a lot of the coordination, and then our Senator Scott Wilke has been very active with this in the past. And then we'll have our other representatives also part of the meetings, and also we do a big dinner on Monday night and cover those issues. So it has an impact.
No doubt, no doubt. And if you just tuned in, we're here with Carl Goldman, owner of KHTS, one of the owners, along with Jerry Goldman. And he's expressing that we have a voice in Sacramento. I mean, you put together, it's not even just a bunch of people going, hey, I want to see what's going on, or we're going to go, you're putting together, basically all-stars to go to this event and represent Santa Clarita, and that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and over the years, this year we'll have 110 going up. Over the years, we've had about 1,000 community leaders go up and share what's going on up there.
That's phenomenal.
Now we're just missing 2 key ones here.
I know.
Thank you. Don and Gino promised to be
okay.
part
You
of
can
it.
shame us into it. That's
all
right.
I'm pushing you because part of our mission is to bring different people up there so that they could see what's going on and share it and experience it. So we try, about half the group going up are new people going up for the first time. We also have scholarships, so we take 6 students up there to kind of hand the baton, get them excited about it. They have a chance to meet all the other leaders of Santa Clarita and spend time with them, because they're on the bus with us for a number of hours. And so they get inspired as well.
No, it's a perfect event for us. I mean, and because of having the radio show, and thank you for that, because it does keep us involved in everything that's community based on all the people we bring on to interview. We're talking industry leaders in all kinds of industries. It'd be really great, basically, to be kind of part of this event.
Yeah, so tell us real quick also, because is this now leveraged into a larger trip, and that's why you're going to Washington? Same idea, same concept?
DC, same concept. We've been doing DC for a number of years, but we don't do it every year. First of all, we go for a whole week. It's much more expensive. Yeah. DC is spread out. In Sacramento, we can put 110 people in one room, get the legislators to come to us. DC, you can't do that.
Is there more than one bathroom?
Yes, there are. DC is tougher, but we still have the same impact, same concept. We usually take 40 or 50 people. We wrap it around Congressman Steve Knight's office. In the past, we've done it with Congressman McKeon before Steve Knight was in place, and that's a very, very powerful trip too. Same concept though.
Great stuff. Well, before we close out, I want to hit up a couple of reminders in case you missed the first segment of the show that we're really excited for you, Carl. You and Jerry have finally brought FM to the Valley. So now your KHTS is going to be on not just AM 1220, but also on FM 98.1, correct?
Sure, and many are listening right now on 98.1.
Nice, that's exciting.
Excellent.
We're on
Very
FM now.
exciting.
Yeah, we can promote it. Can't wait to get
all our signage.
Yes, no doubt. And you're bringing the Dodgers back, and you're bringing them to FM. So
nice.
you guys are just crushing it. You got your new, I won't say new, you've been there for a few years now, but your
studio.
location right there on downtown Newhall, open a new coffee shop next door.
And so much growth, right? And so much, the main brew, and there's so much growth. We were briefly talking during the break about a new hotel is going in there, a whole development that will be similar to Center Point is going to wrap around Eternal Valley. Wineries are coming in, and of course Disney Ranch expanding. Masters College, which is right up above the hill, has an entire plan now to add more buildings and create a main entrance into that back area of Newhall over by Melody Ranch by going down Market Street and then going up the hill, and that hill will be converted into a large park that the city will be controlling. So it'll be Newhall over the next 2, 3, 4 years will go through a giant transformation.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's actually really great to hear. I'm actually a proponent of growth. I know a lot of people are scared of growth, but I was a benefit of that growth just coming over in 2007, and I love it. I think it's a great place to live. I think it gives people a suburban alternative to living in L.A. and the San Fernando Valley, so that's why I think we see explosive growth.
And planned growth is the important thing.
Exactly.
We saw explosive growth in the San Fernando Valley, and it left a disaster, but up here, I think thanks to Newhall and now the city and also the county, planned growth can create wonders, and magic happens with that. And Old Town Newhall, 3 or 4 years from now, will be a classic example of that.
I agree.
Beautiful.
Well, we're going to have to close out, but we want to thank you for being the center of it all with KHTS, AM and FM, and keeping us always in the know. Carl, thank you for being part of our show today, buddy.
Thanks, guys. See you in Sacramento.
All right. Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot. Don't go away. We have the second half of the show. Great stuff ahead. You can all, again, remember, you can join us by going to donandgino.com, click on the live stream button. We'll be right back.